Council of United Methodist Church, that's something like the Supreme Court for all United Methodists. I've held other positions beyond committees, commission, I think, in and out of government, several men, the Privileges Committee of the Supreme Court, chairman of the Board of Bar Examiners, and things. I play my role and thing. The other sector of your life and thing at which people don't usually talk about. I've done a lot of humanitarian deals and things, contributing to the welfare and well-being of people in my community in Liberia.
Okay.
Providing medical, educational help to them.
That's good. So, meaning, what, this is your first public service portfolio?
I serve on government commission, but this is first in the government. High profile thing that I wish we do it exclusively. All the other things I was still working as a private lawyer, but now I'm exclusively working for the government of Liberia.
Okay. Justice Minister of our country appointed by the President. Councilor Tweh, how's the ministry, by the way?
The ministry is fine, and like other government agencies, there are challenges and things. But the ministry is doing a wonderful job in maintaining peace and order, carrying out its duties and function aspect is the executive law that empower you to carry on these duties and things. It's challenging, but it's something the country needs. I mean, the job is such that if you can't take the heat in the kitchen, you don't get in the kitchen. So it comes really challenging, but it's also an eye-opener. You see things different than when you're outside it. Yeah.
Glad you know that. No, but yesterday the government, all of you, turned a year. Probably it might not be everybody because some people were nominated, confirmed, and it took time. But by reasoning, the government is a year older now. Over the period of the year, Mr. Justice Minister, maybe I need to just lay back and listen to you there and do follow-up questions. What have you been able to do over there other than what you met there? Have you done anything different as part of your attempt to improve that Ministry of Justice?
Yes, we have done a lot of things. We met a lot of things, a lot of work. We must praise our predecessor for the work he did and things. So when we took off from where he left off, we trying to increase access to justice and trust. Our major thing is to increase access to justice and trust in our justice system.
And that's how you want to go to the market? Yeah, so we get it.
Yeah, to increase access to justice and trust in the justice system. Because we realize and think there's a lot of prejudice. Many Liberians figure that no access to justice. Justice is too costly. It's only for rich people. It's not for the poor. Now most Liberians try to take the law in their own because they figure when they venture to seek justice through the system, there are setbacks and things. It is a problem that the Ministry of Justice we trying to erase and give Liberian hope and trust in our justice system. Yes, there are challenges, but these challenges can be overcome. We will all collaboratively try to fight them. We are a civilized society and we are all time maintain the civility to each other. The only way we can move. We want to create we try to create an investment climate that is safe, that is conducive for investors to come to our country. We try to see that anything that will curtail the peace and bring this harmony that will make Liberia very unattractive, that we try to fight that. I say we have challenges and things. But there's stuff we are doing. Our Department of Prosecution is doing it best. They handle some cases. In 2024, they had 116 cases. They won 106. They won 106. The cases range from murder, economic sabotage, tax evasion, etc. We have cases pending before the ECOWAS court. There were 4 cases. We have won 2. And there are two are pending. When we took over, we realized that prosecution funds were not forthcoming because you see, especially for the Leeward counties, the county attorney and thing have to bring the case to court. They have to prepare witnesses. They have to go and find the witnesses and things. If they don't have the fund and things to adequately carry out these jobs, there's a problem. We make sure government try to make available the prosecution funds and things that they could use to carry out their work effectively. We just provided some vehicles for the prosecutor, thanks to the Minister of Finance and the government. 21 vehicles, because you have county attorney riding motorbike, pen, to go from area to area collecting evidence with witnesses and things. But now they have vehicles that make them mobile, that they can go to places far away and things adequately do their jobs. So that's a good thing. Our economic department are now looking at some concession agreement. They're reviewing it and negotiating some. We have the procurement contracts. We have reviewed and approved about 100 procurement contracts. We are giving legal opinions to various government agencies. I think that the Bureau of Correction, we have issue problem there, overcrowdedness and thing, the increased huge number of pre-trial detainees and things we are trying to fight. We're able to release about 2,000 plus pre-trial detainees in 2024. We have the magistrate sitting program, people who figure for simple infraction, and misdemeanors and things. We try to get an early release. But still, there's still the problem of overcrowding. We need some new prison. We need to expand the existing facility. That is a work in progress. Our alternative dispute resolution department is working on has crafted, validated, and presented the ADR draft law. We help in establishing and vetting, recruiting the executive director for the War Crime Code. The executive director already commenced the process of establishing or working on modalities and recommending to the government the best way forward for the establishment of the War Crime Code. We established a Gender and Social Inclusion Department for the first time at the Ministry of Justice. We are crafted, validated our gender policy in Region 1 and 2. That's Region 1, that Lofa, Nima, and Bom. Region 2, that Grand Kipma, Bomi, and Babalo. We're trying to make the work environment very inclusive for everybody. No discrimination, no preferential treatment. It be conducive for men and women alike. Equality of treatment. We developing our strategic plan for the Ministry of Justice, which will soon be completed. Our Department of Child Justice is working. You see, the Department of Child Justice, they deal with issues involving children. One of the issues is that we have a policy and the law and things that a minor cannot just leave a country like that. But most people are not aware. We try to create awareness. Because sometimes I receive calls, people at the airport, they want to carry their child and they're stopped. They did not receive clearance from the Ministry of Justice. We try that will help in trafficking, in pricing, and things like that to prevent it. So we have to know that the child is authorized, the person who kept the child is authorized. They give certain commitment, everything, and like that, before they get allowed to take the child with them. Yeah. So we also, over the year, I think we created a little program. We call it Justice Ambassador. We took some children from high school, and they work with the Ministry of Justice during the vacation, the summertime, and different things. We figure they know more about the justice system. They address issues that are more violent. They can go home to their people and maybe tell them when they see something going wrong or something going right, tell them the best way and guide them. They can be our ambassador for the entire country. So in a nutshell, I just... Okay.
Now, Minister, can you remember whether you've won any non-criminal case during this period under review, under your leadership as the Minister of Justice?
Non-criminal, civil action?
Yeah.
I have my recollection. I don't know what civil action is.
Let's move on to trust in the justice system with specific reference to mob violence. Is increasing across the country to the extent that even car makes an accident somewhere, people want to resort to something else. What is your administration contemplating on? What are you doing with other justice sector actors to ensure that, the population can get educated a little bit, sensitized or whatever? What are you thinking about?
Thank you for a very good question. One of the key things we wanted to bring out here today, the more violence is kind of on the increase, which is sad for our country. We have incident people can recall what happened in Riala, the Sala Rural Plantation. We have incident what happened in Chocolate City, Ghana's about a lady who were accused and things, and people jump on her. Again, we have more violence against another lady accused of being a criminal in the commercial red light district. We have incidents quite recently. In January this month, we are seeing 2 violent mob action. The terrible one that happened on the freeway, in which a young man was stoned to death because he was accused of stealing a bike. And that was people who saw the video it was a horrible thing to watch. You have people standing by, not doing anything. Then had the other incident where when the same Ghana, a truck, I think, collided with a motorbike collided with a truck and thing, and the truck was practically destroyed. These are issues that are serious. We take it very seriously, and we say this type of thing should not happen in the country. We won't create a safe society. I should feel safe. People don't go out in the street and especially accident. Most of the time they come up from accident and thing. People don't go out and say, I will have an accident today. It's happening, a part of life. Things happen. But how you handle it? We should take time and give the justice system a chance to investigate the accident and hold somebody responsible and then go through the justice system. This thing the mob violence is moving too fast, and it's the wrong path for the country. People abroad, visitors and things, they see that type of thing. There's fear created in citizens. You drive in a car, you in fear. Anything happen in the community, you in fear because we're all waiting for the police to come and investigate. They could jump on you because any kind of mob violence is criminal. And we know what happened with mob violence. When it happens, people are severely injured, property destroyed, and sometimes it leads to death.
Why is it so, Minister? Why are people reverse into that?
I can't really. That's something we have to study. But I can say to combat this, the Ministry of Justice, we intend to launch a national anti-mob violence campaign. We want to launch it next month. In February, we'll start in Monrovia County, and we'll take care to different counties and things, create awareness. In that, we will work with civil society, including the Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Union of Liberia, the Liberia Dump Truck Union, the National Dump Truck Union of Liberia, the United Congress Driver Transport Union of Liberia, among other driver unions. Will work with the Federation of Liberian Youth, traditional community leaders, to increase public knowledge about mob violence, to educate the public on the dangers and consequences of mob violence, to educate the public about the rule of law, to also try to create confidence in the justice, in the criminal justice system. There will be workshop, awareness campaign, talk shows and radio, dramatization, and community-based activity will be utilized in altering perception, in changing people's minds and people's action. We know there are misconceptions. We know some of the reasons can be maybe it's the high unemployment, limited access to education, maybe they will have a saying, they say, our idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we have to create like TVET, more TVET program and thing, try to give people, especially our youth population, skills and things that will make them productive citizens within our country. So we're working on this campaign team, and we want to call the public to help us.
Minister, what do you say to Liberians who think a lot of people are using mob action as the last option because out of the justice system, they don't trust it. They have absolutely no trust in the police. People think, when you carry the case to the police, the way they do what they do, you go to court, the government itself is not responsive to some of the issues. And so when these things happen, we just respond the way we do. I mean, who cares? Because if we want to be citizens, good citizens, and taking these battles before the law, absolutely nothing is going to come out of it. That's where you find yourself as the Minister of Justice.
And
What do you do?
that's why we're doing this campaign. There's a lot of reason. Whether a right or reason, it gives no one the right to take the law in his own hand and take the life of another person or destroy another person's property. That is wrong. Two wrongs cannot make one right. You have to give the justice system a chance. That's why we know, as a civilized nation, we resort otherwise, what happens? There's a saying, an eye for an eye will make the whole town blind. But we don't want to go down that route. So we're calling on all Liberians to condemn and denounce mob violence. This mob violence creates fear in the community. It undermines the legitimacy of our own formal legal institution. Well, why can we replace away our judicial system? We can't empower people to take the law in their own hand. That is so wrong. So we're calling on everybody to denounce it and give the government a chance to work it out. We know trust and things, trust have been eroded. I'll be the first to admit it, for whatsoever reason. But that's why we more focus on community policing to regain the trust. To know the police is your friend. It's there to help.
Mr. Minister, is there any particular mysterious death or deaths that have occurred in recent time under your leadership as a Minister of Justice that the Justice Ministry is investigating? Is there anything new about the deaths of these auditors over the last years that you want us to know?
Well, for those cases and things, we call them cold cases and things.
Okay.
The police has a unit that is looking into all the cold cases.
Okay.
And when they get through the review and things, they'll make recommendation. All deaths are investigated by the police.
Let's go to King George.
Yeah.
Anything about the King George situation?
Yes, King George, we just received the report of the Civilian Complaint Review Board. They just submitted the complaint. We have sent it to the office of the president, and we'll give it to the Inspector General. We will look at the recommendation, and whether I recommend it, they will try to take the appropriate steps to see. Well, it's just to show that the government is not letting this thing lie. We get complaint against police, so we try to review it. We try to set up independent board and thing to review it. The Civilian Complaint Review Board is not a police organization. The head of that board is the President of the Liberian National Bar Association. They have members of civil society. But it's an independent board.
Will we see the report public?
Yes, you will.
Okay, let's move on to the Capitol building situation. The police is investigating still. Some persons have been charged and sent to court for prosecution. One of the things a lot of Liberians have been saying is this is statement from the president that they think has prejudiced the case, and they believe the police will not say anything other than going in line with what the president said. What initially on that Capitol building fire situation can you tell us?
Well, as the investigation is ongoing, I can tell you very little, but I can say this. The matter is being thoroughly investigated. We must praise our security apparatus. We have good men and women, and we have certain technology that is helping in the investigation.
People think you are targeting a group of people. A lot of people think you're only targeting Fonanti Kofa, you're targeting the CDC people, you're not targeting the majority bloc of the members of the House because probably they're Unity Party and other people. How do you speak to that?
The head of the various security apparatus, these are people well trained, well qualified, training from renowned institution. They have their reputation at stake. They will not do that. They're only calling people where the investigation lead. The public have to be aware there are certain people who are saying things around and thing. But you have never heard the name being called investigation. So they say we're targeting the Honorable Kufa office. There are people in your office and things who have never been called. Their name have never been said anywhere. How can it be that we're targeting people? But the Liberians should be patient and allow the investigation to come to a conclusion. And they will see. The day the investigation is concluded, the day indictment are drawn up, I, as Attorney General, will address the Liberian people and explain to them in detail.
Is there something we don't know? Are there things happening? You speaking like, because you're comfortably seated as the Minister of Justice.
But
apparently there's something beyond what we don't know.
People are being arrested. So they will be prosecuted. So the day we're ready, the Minister of Justice will speak and address the Liberian people.
When the president goes to a crime scene, Mr. Minister, and in his address to the media and use words that probably I don't want to repeat, but maybe hooligans or whatever, the people who burn the place, the people in the public think the president already knew who burned the place, or by saying that, the president was just telling the police, you got to hold people at all costs.
I want to put the public at ease and think that was not the case. Early in the morning, the president go to the place, fire just occurred. How will he know who committed the fire? How will he know? So it was not his intention he made any statement, but the matter is being investigated. And the public will be informed. There's transparency. The rule of law will prevail. And we all, I think, we as a people, as a nation, should be outraged that this, our building, our national heritage, this infrastructure was deliberately burned by people. It should be like a house getting burned. We Liberians, we should show the outrage. Instead of talking about other matters, let's show the outrage and say, government investigate. Bring the perpetrators to justice. That's what Liberians should be screaming for. But why are we not?
Could you have made such statement if you were the one who addressed the press?
Of course. I made a statement the other day. And the matter must be investigated. It's a turning point in our society. If it's not investigated, people are not persecuted, then doomed to our country.
Why do you want Liberians to trust the investigation, by the way?
Because as a civilized nation, a country of law, that's what we do. We all live here. People in government, people around, we're coming from another planet that we live in Liberia. We have to trust our system and give it a chance. If you see it doing something wrong, you call out the wrong. That's how a democratic society works. Except you are saying, Liberia is saying, no, you're leading the investigation because you're wishing the people, let it stay. Let the building be burned and nobody be punished for it. Nobody be persecuted. I don't think Liberians want that.
Recently, Facebook has been flooded with information that some lawmakers, including Frank Foko, Marvin Coe, and others, are wanted to be arrested by the police. Mr. Minister, has a government issued an arrest warrant for any lawmaker that you know about?
Categorically, no. No arrest warrant has been issued for any lawmaker. But as I said the other day, the investigation is ongoing. If the tree and thing and the evidence shows that any lawmaker involved, of course they'll be called in for questioning. It's simple. How can I say we can call the ordinary John Doe down the road, but a lawmaker cannot be called in? Nobody will talk to lawmaker. Is that a type of society we want, that people are above the law? I don't think we want that. The Justice Minister, he said, an investigation come at a point, he should be called in.
Now, when the Supreme Court ruled in the case, the embattled Speaker Funanti Kofa took to the legislature, to the Supreme Court, there were a lot of things the Supreme Court ruled on and talk about a lot of things, ultra vires and all these things. As Attorney General of the country, you came up and spoke, and since then there have been different public reactions to what was an advisory opinion. that you ran off from the Supreme Court opinion. Have you listened to the different public opinion about your opinion, and how do you respond?
I have listened, and my response is that democracy. The Attorney General, Minister of Justice, by law has the right to give opinion, legal opinion to the government. When he does that, that people have right to criticize. But you shouldn't criticize and like you, if you see in the next day you want choking to death, that's a democratic process. You can disagree. And one of the lawyers, I can tell you, one of the lawyers who disagreed hotly with me, the other day, we collaborated on the matter and everything, very civilized, civility. I expressed my opinion, he expressed his opinion.
What was your reliance?
My reliance on the law. If you read my opinion, you'll see everything I rely on, the law, the Constitution, and the opinion of the Supreme Court.
What do you say to people who think that advisory you provided through the executive under the boss, quote unquote, in their meaning of that, it led the executive to doing business with one group of the two groups that were in a conflict?
Opinions determine the course of action the government will take. My opinion advised the government, and that's all I did. People can disagree; it's their right. And I applaud you. It make a healthy society. Disagreement, or shouldn't disagree with such anger and hatred. That is wrong for our society.
Now, initially, Mr. Minister, I heard you talking about winning some cases at the ECOWAS court. Congratulations. Thank God you won. In the event you lose a case there, and the ECOWAS court ruled and say your government should do particular things, will you advise the president, will you advise the government to do that?
Secondly, definitely.
Can you advise the government to begin to doing what the ECOWAS code says the government should do in the Janet trial?
Of course. It will come up for my review, and which things will bring it to my attention. I will advise the government to comply with the orders and the judgment of the ECOWAS code.
Minister, you know about that judgment?
Of course. I can't say I know. How will I say I know about the judgment? I know about the judgment.
Because we've gone 1 year now, when President Boakai was then running for office, other than said, Janet was being ill-treated. I thought when you get to power, you would have started doing the right thing.
Government doesn't work that way.
How does it work?
It works by taking your time, by reviewing, by looking at the code saying you must do X, Y, Z. How do you implement and do X, Y, Z? Especially when you come to the monetary and the source of the monetary funding and everything. But the government is looking at that. It's not sweeping under the carpet. And the orders of the ECOWAS code will be obeyed.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay, we are talking to Liberia's Justice Minister, Councillor Oswal Tweh. We're looking at the justice system. He says he's concerned about mob violence. And in the coming months, he said the Ministry of Justice will work with Safer Society and others to ensure our different communities benefit awareness and all these things. Beyond the pickups, the government, through your ministry, issued these county attorneys recently. What else are you contemplating on doing to strengthen the prosecutorial arm of the government?
We have been having periodic workshop for our prosecutors. In fact, one is scheduled for next month, February, on the trafficking in pricing. I think it will be held in Buchanan. So we'll have the periodic workshop and the refresher courses and bring them up to speed, the new thing in the law, new technology and make sure that they are on top of their job.
Okay. Minister, when I was asking you about your reliance in that advisory opinion, I was actually meaning to say, is there any law that authorizes you to interpret an opinion from the Supreme Court?
Yes, in the executive law, the law creating Ministry of Justice is clearly stated there.
What does the law say there?
It says the Minister of Justice, one of his responsibility and duty is to give legal opinion on issues that may be brought in by executive branch of government or its agency. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was also talking about strengthening the county attorneys and the prosecution arm of the government. You were talking something about that.
Yeah. They have to be, the prosecutor ability of the Ministry of Justice has to be strengthened. We know the government has a small envelope that they have to dish out to everybody. So we understand the constraint, but certain things cannot be left undone. Because if the prosecutory arm of the Ministry of Justice is not strengthened, they don't have the adequate resources and things, then justice may not be meted out correctly the way it should be done. Because you expect a county attorney in one of the counties where we get the resources from to fund the transportation of witnesses, to have stationaries for an office, to employ an expert and things that will help him in any matter. So we need to strengthen the arm of the Ministry of Justice. They are doing a tremendous job with the limited resources they have, and we applaud them.
Have you gone to some of the counties to have an appreciation of what the justice system is?
Yeah. I've been to several counties. I traveled to Bum County, to Lofa County, and Mangibi County. The course of this year, and then I'll travel to other counties.
Are you ever concerned about overcrowdedness in the different prison facilities across the country?
Very concerned. Very, very concerned. It's a matter of serious concern. And we're working on it. In fact, like for Monrovia Central Prison, we need a new prison. We have land in Chismabray, about 27 acres. There were plans for the building of a prison that has never been materialized. And hopefully, during this administration, we pray that will be done. Because basically, the very little you can do in expansion-wise at the Monrovia Central Prison, you need to build a new prison facility.
Now, back to the Capitol building situation. One of the suspects accused state security forces of immensely torturing him. Minister, what do you say to that? Was it torture?
Nobody. This government will not torture anybody. We don't for this particular investigation. No. Anybody touch anybody and think it will be a miscarriage of justice.
I say he was tortured.
He was not tortured. We are throwing the gauntlet out. The Minister of Information went out publicly and said we welcome an independent investigation, national, international. We're not setting a committee and say go investigate again. They'll say, oh, that the government, we can't trust it. International and national. People, journalists, anybody can come and say they won't go investigate. We'll open our doors to them, let them go investigate. But I assure you, there was no torture of any person of interest, suspect, whatsoever. That is totally untrue and false.
Now, there was a situation, probably this one you inherited. There was a situation in Nuku Town in 2022 that led to the deaths of, I may not be exact, but some persons. I know there's been investigation. I don't know at this point whether there was any prosecution so far. Minister, do you know about it? Are you thinking about doing any prosecution of the individuals that were arrested so that this issue can have a closure?
I'm aware of the incident in Nuku, as I said, from the borough. From Nuku, I'm aware of it. Related to prosecution, we have to check that out and see how far. We said there's a unit at the Liberia National Police that are looking into the cold cases and see where they are. So we're waiting for the report to come and see how we can proceed with them. But if people were arrested for the cause of course, they will be prosecuted. Because, but again, we are Liberians, that's what we say. We got to understand, we got to talk to our people. Certain places, the capacity, there has to be control. If there's somewhere where only 500 persons should go, we should show that only 500 persons go there. If you put a space for 500, you have 1,000 persons in there, the least thing could spark a stampede, and people could be crushed. unintentionally. A good intention, well-meaning intention, you just go bad. But we have to talk and guard ourselves. But sometimes you have an event, and you try to restrict it, you get mob again. The same mob thing. They break down all restriction, all guidelines, all they do adhere to warnings and things. Again, we take things in our own hand, and these tragedies happen. We as a people should take our destiny to our hands and try to let our people know you can't do this.
Well, we'll ask a few more questions before we contemplate taking the lands. The show has been really on Cool FM, 91.9, Truth FM 96.5 is doing really, Prime FM 105.5, and of course State Radio ELBC 99.5, 99.9. This is the Morning Rush on OKFM, and of course, Liberia's Attorney General, Justice Minister Oswal Tweh is here as our guest. What is your vision for the Ministry of Justice over the next year? Probably next year, time like this, what would you have achieved?
My vision is that...
Minister, you want to come closer?
Yeah. My vision is that we bring the Ministry of Justice to a status and thing that it can adequately address all legal issues that will come up within the ministry. That is, more training for the staff. More training for the staff. And that the resources are adequate for the personnel to carry out the function. I think we'll do two things, we can make a lot of difference.
Anything else for your vision?
Basically, the two things: training, employing the competent, efficient staff, qualified staff, and resources.
Recently, I've been talking about an issue here that has to do with the same justice system. The Supreme Court, the justices and the judges complain. Remember, the last government did harmonization, and they said they were not to be touched. I understand this government has managed to pay 1 year retroactive of that salary, but there's an issue with the magistrates. They think they were left out. They too are judges, and they are planning to boycott courts that could undermine the justice system in the country. Does that concern you?
Yeah, it's very concerning, because any boycott by justice is concerning the Ministry of Justice, because our people will not have due process that they in court and thing. I will appeal to the magistrate to contact the office of the Chief Justice and try to amicably resolve the issue, the matter.
Are they judges?
Yes, they are judges.
You think so?
The magistrates? Yes, they are judges.
You think they have a legitimate concern?
I don't know the facts of the matter. But since they raise an issue, when anybody raises an issue, whether it's legitimate or not, I think it should be looked into. But I will appeal to them to get in touch with the office of the Chief Justice and try to resolve it amicably. And I'm sure it can be resolved.
You sure it can be resolved?
Yes.
Now, one of the things people like us and a lot of people been talking about is the issue of government always investigating, and sometimes reports don't come up publicly. I was just talking about the Unity Party chairperson, talking about the LDA investigative report. What do you say to the public? When you hear these things, what do you say to the president? Because people think some of these things are of public interest. For example, I was just asking you about the Kinjor report. Good that you have assured that it will come public. We will follow up. Do you think the government should always be hiding reports that are in the interest of the public?
I won't say the government hiding. I think that's a strong word.
That's my word.
Yeah, that's a strong word. But report that where there's certain report that go directly to the office of the president, and the Ministry of State will have the authority to release it out. If the government has not released any report, I don't think it's to hide it. I'm sure this will be done as time goes by.
At that point, it becomes descriptional. It becomes a matter of choice.
Some issues and things, some report that the government will receive and then will be of such national security matter and then they will never be released. The president will take action and thing. So reports are for public consumption, they will be made available to the public.
Okay, let's go to the lines and take some calls. The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the country is here. We're talking justice issues, asking him some of the questions. He said the Kinjo report that was done by an independent body headed by the president of the Liberia Bar Association, Sylvester Doborini, and others is out, and he promised that the report will be made public. Call us on 07777000995, 0555026995. Now, a particular number is here for female callers, 0555995995. If you are a woman, call that number and let's hear you. Hello?
Clarence, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And let's say good morning to one of Liberia's best.
Then did that thing, Chief. You call your name and ask the question, I beg you.
Clarence. But Clarence, ask me a question.
Ask the question, also express the concern. Let lead out one of Liberia best luminary.
No, Clarence, it's not to recognize that.
Yeah, but at time you take it so, Chief. Let's go ahead.
Clarence, I want me, Jenny.
I don't even give you anything. Go ahead.
Okay, Clarence. So I'm in Monrovia, and my name is Theophilus to be second. Clarence, I mean the friend that Councillor Oswal Tweh is one person in the Liberia jurisprudence who has an impeccable record. And so when President Bwaka nominated and he was confirmed as Justice Minister, I had the confidence that we have one of Liberia's best Justice Minister, and he's going to do what is good and right. And since he took over the Justice Ministry, of course, he laid into some of the progress that he has made. Right? And what I want to urge us, Liberians, is for us to allow the Justice Minister and his team to work in line with the law.
Thank you. Work in line with the law. Hello, sir.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. This is Joseph Blake, and let me say good morning to Councillor Oswal Tweh, our Justice Minister. Councillor, I got two or three questions, and I'll just do it very quickly. My first question is, when you go to the court and you got cases, especially for, you did mention in passing concerning the pre-trial detainee, you'll find out that the prosecution are very active, but the public defenders, the public prosecutors are very active in sending people to jail. But amazingly, the public defenders are non-existent at the court at all level, counsel. This is a serious issue, and I want you to please address why do we have the public prosecutor actively involved in sending people to jail for sometimes for a little, maybe cell phone, but you don't have the public defenders actively in the same way. And then the next thing is we've had a series of corruption cases that are still lying in ruins. Could you also give us an update as to why these cases are still not being heard? The government came with that, that vigor of fighting corruption. And to me, we are losing on the fight of corruption. And Clarence, please, lastly, please. And the next thing has to do with a lot of the concession companies that we know are going against our laws. We've seen you people intervening, but some of it we don't, like Clarence said, we don't find out the final report concerning most of these investigations that are carried out by this multinational company. Could you also address a little bit of it?
Yeah, let me see. Let me go to the female line. Hello? Hello? No, I see why you on top, girl, man. That number is for women. 0555-995-995. Only women. Hello? Hello there.
Good morning, OKFM.
Good morning.
My name is Umar Obinye. And I call from Bourgeois Island, precisely Upper Caldwell.
Yeah, Yank.
I'm listening to our erudite Justice Minister. He spoke well. And the issue of mob violence thing, I would just love to bring this to the attention. I would just love to bring this to the attention of the Justice Minister. First of all, I want to sincerely apologize to his office first. I'm one person that never takes law into my own hands in the Liberian way. But for the time past, like 1 month ago, I caught this criminal in my vicinity, came like young man, stole all of my exterior lights. It would interest you to know that we have the police station right there. When I took this complaint at the police station, in fact, the police did not give me any attention. What they said to me that my young man do anything you want to do. We're tired of running after the people.
Which police depot is it?
The police depot at Upper Cornwall Zoo, 7 Depot 1. You understand me? And it will also interest you to know that I live 1 minute walk from the DEA office, which is the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. The DEA office has stand at that particular detail, including the police. They get to that thing, ghetto and marry make with the boys.
Thank you. The DA police, they get to the ghetto and marry make with the boys. Oh, wow. You cancel this call, man. Let's go here. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
This is Samuel Chogun Wiega, and I do join from Logita.
Wiega, let's hear your concern.
Okay, good morning also to the Minister of Justice, Councilor Oswal.
Hello, are you there? No, we don't. Hello, yeah. Good morning. Oh, wow. We didn't get you. You went off. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah?
Well, Clarence, very quickly. Let me say good morning to Liberia's Attorney General. Somebody said earlier.
Your name, sir.
Oh, I'm Yika, Gabriel Yika.
All right, Gabriel.
Somebody said he's one of Liberia's best. That is undisputed because just check his resume and it speaks for itself, even though he's a homo individual. But let me go to the point. Good morning, bro.
Good morning.
Clarence, in line with the same thought, right? Very qualified, competent, and able that individuals can be compromised by political considerations. So let me ask this question. Given that the police, that the prof has inherited, sorry when I say prof because it's my prof, but the justice minister here has inherited, is polarized, believed popularly to be polarized and partisan. What is he doing or contemplating strategically to institute reforms that will make the LNP professionally ethical and nationalistic in its character? Lastly, the prof talked about the executive law. And he's my prof. I respect him a whole lot. I know him. So I'll not belabor that point. But I want to be educated because he teaches me. Where in the law does it say that he can issue a post-interpretative piece after the Supreme Court has ruled? I know prior to, but I don't know after.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jackson. This is Abdullah Golafale and I speak to you from District Number 4.
All right. Golafale, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister a simple question. Honorable Minister, are you concerned about the mob violence that you just scratched on after citizens were able to provide a necessary security for one white guy who was torturing a young lady from the Cornwall out there, and that case was filed to court. At the end of the day, the court was able to send that case out and said there was no sufficient evidence. Are you still telling these peaceful citizens to wait to see this kind of thing happening? And at the end of the day, when they go to court, they can't get the justice that they need.
Are you aware that the people investigated and the case did not win? The man was acquitted. That's justice.
But by the end of the day, they said there was no sufficient evidence. What kind of evidence?
That's why he was acquitted.
Okay, let's look at the issue about the Kinjo issue. The Kinjo issue, the police came out with another report saying that the citizens of that identical protest were able to shoot at the police.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. I think he talked about that. Let's go to this line. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Clarence Jackson, and good morning to our Honorable Minister, Mr. Tweh, from the Ministry of Justice. Well, my name is Andrew Wise, and I am the Deputy Director General of Kapau Secure Liberia, Incorporated, a FEMA nighttime security program that helps to budget national government effort in terms of fighting against crime in society. Honorable Minister, since the ascension of this government, where the past we have been helping government, the past government, The reception is not too great. And we look forward to you calling the team and to see how best you can be able to help us to buttress our effort. This is the reason why we are flagged down because of some logistical support. We know the police is challenged. And government doesn't have the much manpower in the Liberian National Police, and we are community dwellers, put ourselves together to be able to help national government. You have to be a productive citizen for your country. It's not just what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Okay,
so we're wise to put ourselves together. So we look forward, Mr. Jackson, can you please share my number with the minister so you can be able to reach out to me and we can pay a visit at an officer?
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. We said let's go back to this slide. Hello.
Hello, Clarence.
Good morning,
Am I
sir.
live?
You are, sir.
The Erica here once again. Thanks to our Justice Minister for the interaction with the public. I hope this can be done on a regular basis. Honorable Minister, you said you wanted to do a study as to what is responsible for the mob justice. Well, I think the reasons are clear, they are visible, simply because when the citizens don't trust the police, that's when they tend to do things their way. And I think the best way possible is to make sure that the police and the citizen have a cordial relationship. Once that trust is built, trust me, the issue of mob justice will be minimized. And I have a question for you, because when Clarence asked about the ECOWAS, the ruling of the ECOWAS, you have won cases from there about the issue about Justice Janet. Why, if the Fulati Copa group goes to ECOWAS and ECOWAS rule in their favor, will you and your government adhere to whatever ruling that will come from the ECOWAS court?
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. I will take like 4 more, then we'll go, because the concerns are many. I would like him to address everything. Hello.
Thank you, my good friend and brother, Mr. Jackson. And let me say good morning to you and good morning to the Honorable Minister. This is Sisi. I'm calling from Power this morning.
All right, Mr. Sisi, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Mr. Jackson, you said, we that raise up our older people, we always use parable. My grandfather once told me that, Pee-wee, you cannot send a child on a ring for fire. They will not be able to manage it to bring it home. It will go off. I'm speaking this way. I know what the minister sitting in. He know the background of what I'm saying. He will understand it. Mr. Minister, we know that people can please people to be certified when you are in position. Some of us, we do not have passport. Even Liberian passport, even the common passport, we do not have it. Some of you that work in government have multiple passports. So if some of you in position to do things for the people of any country for that matter, you all need to do your best. The police of this country, the people of this country, they get no confidence again in the security sector. And you are an elderly person. You all need to do things. Age is not in our favor. Even the president today that governing us, the age gone already. He's just there because the grace of God, the time that has given to him. And your very I did not know your age, but I know you aging.
Okay, Sisi.
But please do the refugee for the Liberian people. We want no problem in this country.
Thank you.
We do not want no problem in this country. I'll hold your phone. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
My name is Ebenezer Williams, and I call from Barton.
Mr. Williams, let's hear you.
And I want to firstly say thank you for the job. But before I make my I want to make
Your line is terrible.
Are you getting me now?
Yeah.
Your fact check last week Wednesday you had a show with the public works minister, and he said that the rule in Barton leading from the bridge to Freeport is 100%. They did not do a fact check on it. I listened to the spoon show.
Okay, so you know what you can do. Listen now, bossman, listen, 1 minute now. You diluting our conversation. The fact check people, they can always tell you they got number, they got medium. When you got issues that you want to fact check, send it to them. Yeah, they will fact check it. Please send the issues to them, they will fact check it. Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Jackson, and good morning to the Honorable Minister.
Good morning.
My name is Mamensi Kaban.
All right, Mamensi.
For the record, my disagreement I'm about to express towards the minister does not question his qualification as a legal luminary. But again, people can be tempered with based on different circumstances. And I believe that what he's doing now is because he's been politically tempered with, is outside of what he studied. So he's not applying what he studied. And Mr. Jackson, I hear you tell one of your callers, because the caller said the kids, there were not sufficient evidence, and they allowed the women to be set free. And these are some of the things that lead to violence in our country. But you told him that is justice. I agree with you. But senior officials of this government in the past, when the Liberian government then lost the case, the drug case, they said we were supporting drugs, the fact that we did not win the case. Even though the case was also sent to court, it was argued and we lost. Today, this case against a young woman was lost, a Liberian woman against an American, and people want us to believe that it's justice. If it wasn't justice yesterday, it is not justice today. It is compromise by the government. Now, Honorable Justice Minister, I am, as a citizen of this country, I am not proud of you as Liberia's Justice Minister. Though I have not done extensive research, but I have been informed that the Justice Minister is the only government official that has that right to disagree with the president legally. But under your watch, there has been abuse of our laws in this country. And you sit supinely, with all due respect, and do nothing about it, and support the government's action to disrespect or disregard our rule of law. The fact that you've come to the public, I want to say to you as a father and a legal luminary, because I may be opportune tomorrow to be taught by you. I'm encouraging you to not allow politics to tamper with your integrity and your study as a legal luminary. You have a responsibility to set a standard for the young generation that are coming up, that are admirers of law like myself, to tell the president some of the things he's doing wrongfully, legally, where he abusing our law, to stand and respectfully advise the president to do the right thing. It's not late. You can still do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the advice.
Thank you. We're not taking any more calls. Let's listen to the minister respond. The concerns are too many. Minister, yep. Then you can begin to address them.
All right. The first caller talk about the public defender and prosecutor sending people to jail. See, we have to understand, we are a country of laws. Our law, when you are arrested on a criminal charge, to secure your liberty, you have to provide a bond, what we call bail. If you can't provide the bond, put up the bill, you have to be sent to jail until you can provide a bill or until your case is heard. That's the law. We have seen in our jurisdiction in Liberia, there's some portion of the law that says the judge can use a discretion and release you. Maybe you understand, he know you're not fly raised, you will be around when they need you, they can bring you to court, he can release you. But we don't see that happening a lot because judges, to include magistrates, have done it, have released people on the law, and they are being accused of taking bribes, of being corrupt. So the judges are reluctant to release people. So of course, when you come, you charge for a criminal offense, you can't provide a bond, they send you to jail. That helps the overcrowdedness of the prison facility. We can understand why it's done. And because that criminal procedure, the criminal procedure that I just alluded to, is for all criminal offenses. Imagine the magistrate all around Monrovia County sending people to the Monrovia Central Prison on a daily basis. Maybe there could be 20. You can have a quick impact team there and thing for the less charges and thing, and you could release 20 today. But another 20 could come in the same day. So I think one of the things we need to do is we, the legal practitioner, the courts, the Liberian National Bar, stakeholder, should look at our law and see how we can review it, and maybe some of these minor offenses that it can be discretionary, that you don't have to send the person to jail. You can just release them. How can I reduce the crime? Until that is done, we got to look at it in a holistic way and see how we can resolve the problem until we have the resources to create more prison compound. So the public, the prosecutor are doing their job. They're doing it all right. Corruption cases. The government is fighting corruption cases. You know, corruption cases, sometimes it's easier said than done. And that's an easy thing, gathering evidence and prosecuting corruption cases in our society. Some of the cases take long. And we have in our law what we call remedial processes. While the case is ongoing, if one of the party is dissatisfied with a ruling of the court, an interlocutory ruling or whatsoever, he has the right to seek redress while the case is still pending before the Supreme Court. That matter could go up 2-3 times and then before while the case is still pending. And that is time. So the cases take time. But the government will not relent his duty to prosecute corruption cases, because due to corruption, it saps the resources of the state. Resources that should be used to give to render some social services to the citizen and the country. They are taken away. Schools, hospitals, roads. You're taking that money and a few individuals are illegally taking that money and using it for their own self. That is wrong. So corruption is a matter that is high on our agenda. Concession areas, yes. There seems to sometimes there violence in concession areas. Again, we appeal to people to come to the table. Some concessions areas have collected, the unions they have collected bargaining agreement. Come to the table and discuss, not violence. Because with the limited resources, everybody that is legally employed in Liberia now is sometimes responsible for about 10%. If we make our country so unattractive, so bad, investors walk away and think, if a company has 500 persons, and those 500 persons do not have job, and you multiply it by 10, you know how many Liberians will be suffering. So if you think of the consequences, there's nothing cannot be said that people cannot sit down at the table and resolve. So the investigation, again, this matter come up, you see, like the King George matter, the police standard unit there did a report. When the report came to me, I said no, that the police who doing the report. We need an independent review of the report. That's why it was sent to the civilian complaint review board. See? That was sent to because when I have the police and the law and gospel, they that way investigate themselves and get a report and we just accept it. The public and the VC, they trust. I think we have to create that equated by the court. The justice system is such that a case go to court. You could be convicted or you could be acquitted. We have to be able to equally accept conviction and accept acquittal. That's what the justice system is all about. Because you want conviction and acquittal come, you're going to rampage because of that. That the evidence that will produce and how the court rule. We should be manly enough and to accept it. That's what happens in the world. You may not like the ruling, but you have to accept it. If you're going to do otherwise, we create chaos. That I said earlier about community policing. We need to beef up that. We got to move around the community, reassuring them that police are your friends, they're here to help. bringing the community and the police together. Give our police more training to investigate cases, to gather evidence. That we intend to do. The question, if the government is taking the ECOWAS code and a ruling is not in favor of the government will uphold the ruling. The government will uphold the ruling. Again, I want to thank the callers who called, praying that there be no problem in the country, that we all can live here peacefully, and we welcome those assertions.
Okay, Minister. Thank you so much. We still have a lot of time. Now, Minister, I know there is an international justice actors delegation in Liberia. Stephen Rabb, the former prosecutor of the War Crimes Court for Sierra Leone, is part. I don't know whether they've met you. I don't know whether they will meet the president. But why is it, in other people's opinion, so difficult to get the office of the War Crimes Court off the ground and running through probably sufficient budgetary allotment?
Jackson, I know you got the information from the office of the executive director have been funded by the government.
I know.
Funds were made available. But again, as I said, the small...
We're talking about some 313,000, something.
Isn't that something to start with? We know the capacity of the government. That will have to adequately conduct for the work to be done by the office of the War Economic Crimes Code. We need resources. And we, as a nation, we are limited. We need resources, we need manpower, we need expertise.
Why don't we put more money there, Minister, if this is a priority of the people?
Yes, I mean, it's a priority. Polls and things have shown that majority of Liberians want it. The government want it. But the government is limited. We have an envelope, very small, that will dish out to everybody.
Okay. Let me take this female caller from Belgium. She's calling from outside the country, and so we'll take her. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Clarence, and good morning to the minister in studio. This is Entrick Jallo. I'm calling from Belgium. Let me first start by saying thank you to the Honorable Minister. He has just spent a little time in the government as a minister, but we have seen some of his little improvements, but there is still more to do. More to do in the sense that mob violence are getting rampant in the country because the people do not have belief in the justice system. There's a lot of impunity. People commit crime and work with impunity. Before the government took over, we had a lot of injustices. We had murder cases. We have things that happen. And this government, through the Liberia National Police, came up and told us that they were doing investigation. Up till now, they haven't come up yet with a report. We want to know who killed the 3 auditors. We want to know who killed Princess Copper. We want to know where are the 3 missing boys who are responsible. This is why we stood by this government. We advocated and we went all out to make sure that this government will come to power because we believe that this government will do the right thing. Justice is one of the major priorities. And Mr. Minister, Justice Minister, we want you through the police and other justice agency in the country to start doing what is right. That's the only way the people will believe in the system again. The people will take people to the law. But if you do not give the people justice, they will take the justice into their own. I am common example. The last time I spoke with the Inspector General of Police with regards to my case, there were all evidence, new evidence again that came out that showed that Nelson Onyema had paid 3 medical practitioners to Dr. Jala Hospital, the former Minister of Health, Wilhelmina Jala Hospital. All of those documents were presented to him. He asked me to forward it to the head of the Women and Children Protection at the Liberia National Police. Up till now, nothing is been done. Nothing. You fight to ask the government the authorities for justice, they don't give you justice. So tell me, somebody raped me, they turn around, they human traffic my children, exchange my children with my relatives' own children. I have to live 10 years without my children. While I'm seeing my children in another woman's hand being mistreated. I'm calling on my government for justice. At the same time, the Belgian government is also doing their work. Even though the crime did happen in Liberia, but Belgium is even more involved into this case, investigating. But what is my government doing? Nothing.
Okay,
so you have to, in order to get rid of mob violence, you have to make the system work. You have to make the people believe in justice. So if I was someone who does not believe in the law, I would take the law into my own hands. I would come to Liberia and make sure I...
Okay. Thank you. Thank you there. Minister, do you want to respond? You listen to some of our concerns?
Yes, I listen. I mean, what she's saying, Oswal is very unfortunate that she shall not be accorded justice and thing. I'm just having knowledge of the matter. I will speak with the IG and see what the whole case of the boy, how we can accelerate it.
Mr. Minister, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah. By way of closing, I would like to say, I'm from the private sector. I came from the private sector where I provided jobs and impacted our society. I'm from the borough of Newcastle. I witnessed firsthand how hard work and dedication can transform lives and build communities. So, I'm empowered by this sense of responsibility and purpose. I do my best to exercise my duty with all fear or favor, no matter who is involved. The commitment to justice in our society requires courage, and I'm prepared to face any challenge that comes my way. Yes, the justice system may be slow at times, we may be slow at times, and we know that impatience can breed frustration. But we can assure our country and our citizens that every step we take is deliberate and measured. When we reach a decision, it means we have gathered solid and concrete evidence. We meticulously build a case that can stand on its own. We owe that to our citizens and to the principle of justice that we uphold. Yes, people have right to voice up their opinion and engage in very spirited debate. Discussion drives progress, and we welcome it. However, we should not allow misinformation to undermine the very fabric of our society. Our offices are open. People can obtain information that will help them in their opinion. But we say again, there is no right, none, for anyone to threaten the peace of our beloved country. We have endured much, and we deserve to live as a people of fear and turmoil. We ask for the citizens of your patience and understanding. Yeah, give her a chance to do our job.
Okay. Liberia's Justice Minister, Councillor Oswal Tweh. Minister, thank you ever so much for coming. We hope we can have more of these conversations because justice, rule of law, human rights issues are too important to our democracy. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks to all of you, man. I'm taking my usual weekend break. I will be here. OKFM TV is reporting that Representative Marvin Cole has resigned from the National Patriotic Party, the NPP. This is the letter, January 23, 2025. Our Excellency Chief Dr. Tweh Howard Taylor, former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia and Standard Bearer of the National Patriotic Party, the NPP, Monrovia County, Liberia. Reference, resignation as member of the National Patriotic Party. Madam Standard Bearer and fellow partisans, I present my compliments and herewith avail myself this opportunity to inform you and members of the National Patriotic Party about my resignation as member of the party NPP. Accordingly, Madam Standard Bearer and my distinguished partisans, my resignation is predicated upon the stance taken by the National Chairman, Honorable George Sylvester Moluba, and some executive members of the party to endorse my illegal suspension along with some members of the Coalition for Democratic Change and not giving me the opportunity to be heard as required by the laws and constitution of the party. In furtherance to this, Madam Standard Bearer took this stance. No, he said, in furtherance to this, Madam Standard Bearer protect the rule of law as it relates to the ongoing legislative impasse which has led to my undemocratic, unconstitutional suspension even against the rules of the Honorable House of Representatives by some members.